I don't believe in accidents anymore. Not after what I found that night. I was sorting through dirty clothes when something plastic fell out of Catherine's jacket pocket. A hotel keycard. Room 314, Grandview Inn. She told me she was visiting her old college friend Sarah that weekend. Said she needed girl time. But hotel keys don't lie. Neither did the cologne smell on her scarf. Some expensive woody stuff. Not mine. My name is Benjamin Walsh. I'm 58 years old. Been married to Catherine for 29 years. We met at Barnes & Noble in 1995. She was reading Nietzsche, I was looking at business books. She was all passion and art dreams. I was numbers and logic. She changed me. Or maybe just molded me into what she wanted. I built everything for us. The $450,000 house on Maple Street. The $25,000 art studio I converted from our garage. The $8,000 European trips every year so she could paint in museums. I put my engineering firm dreams on hold so she could chase galleries and exhibitions. For 29 years, I thought that was love. Then she started working late 3 nights a week. Started hiding her phone when I walked in. Started whispering with our daughter Sophie behind closed doors. I'd walk into the kitchen and they'd stop talking. Sophie would get this guilty look on her face and mumble something about helping Mom with gallery stuff. I thought maybe she was planning something for our 30th anniversary. I was right, just not what I expected. That keycard destroyed everything. But I didn't confront her right away. My hands were shaking too bad. My chest felt like someone was sitting on it. Instead, I acted normal. Made her coffee the next morning at 6:30 a.m. like always. Colombian blend, 2 sugars, splash of cream. Told her she looked beautiful in that blue dress. Which she did, damn it. She smiled at me, totally clueless about what I knew. Kissed my cheek and said, "Love you, honey," like she meant it. That's when you know a man is broken. He gets real quiet, real calm, like the eye of a hurricane. I called my friend Derek, who works at the Grandview Inn. We've known each other since high school. Played poker every Thursday for 15 years. "Hey man," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Weird favor. My sister thinks she left her earrings in a room." Room 314. Was Catherine Walsh registered there last weekend? Long pause. I could hear him typing on his computer. Then, yeah, Saturday night to Sunday morning. 2 guests checked in, 2 checked out. My stomach dropped. 2 guests? Yeah. Male and female. Checked in at 8:47 p.m. Saturday. Checked out 11:23 a.m. Sunday. I hung up, sat there for 10 minutes staring at nothing. I didn't go home that night. Sat in my Honda Civic for 4 hours in the Denny's parking lot on Route 9. Engine off, windows down. Just breathing. Thinking about every kiss that meant nothing. Every "I love you" that was bullshit. Every time she came home glowing and said she was inspired by her art friends. And the worst part, Sophie knew. When I called her Saturday night around 9 p.m., she said Mom was tired from the reunion and needed space to process seeing old friends. I heard the lie in her voice. The hesitation. Saw how she wouldn't look at me during dinner the week before when I asked about Mom's schedule. Both of them knew. Both of them lied to my face for months. Something died in me that night. Not angry, colder than that. A slow death of trust. Like watching ice form on a lake. You can see it happening, but you can't stop it. Catherine wasn't just cheating. She was planning to leave. Take half my money. Half my house, half my life. After 29 years of me working 60-hour weeks so she could pursue her art. After I paid for her supplies, her studio, her exhibitions that never made money. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I didn't yell at her. Didn't demand explanations. Didn't throw things or make scenes. Arguments give closure. Catherine didn't deserve closure. Instead, I watched her. Studied her like a science project. When she left for her book club on Tuesday nights, I followed her. Took pictures of the parking lot. The cars, the license plates. Started keeping records in a notebook I hid in my toolbox. Times, dates, behavior changes. What she wore when she left versus what she wore when she came back. Whether she showered immediately when she got home. Whether she seemed different. Happier. Guilty. Tuesday, October 3rd, left 7:15 p.m. in black dress. Came home 10:45 p.m. in same dress but hair messed up. Showered immediately. Thursday, October 5th, working late at gallery. Called her office at 8 p.m. Voicemail said they closed at 6 p.m. Saturday, October 7th, book club at Janet's house. Janet called our house at 4 p.m. asking if Catherine wanted to join book club next month. Catherine wasn't home to take the call. She thought I was just distracted by work. Thought my silence meant I didn't notice. But I was building a case. Every lie, every contradiction, every piece of evidence. The breaking point came when I found the second phone, hidden in her makeup drawer under old lipsticks and broken compacts. A cheap Samsung burner phone, $30 at Walmart. No password, that was her mistake. The messages between her and someone named Daniel made me sick. Daniel Cross. I looked him up online. 42 years old, divorced photographer. Lives in a condo downtown. No kids, just gym selfies and artsy black and white photos on his Instagram. Daniel, last night was amazing. I can still smell your perfume on my shirt. Catherine, I keep thinking about your hands. When can I see you again? Daniel, Friday at the cabin? I'll bring wine. Catherine, I'll tell Ben I'm helping Sophie with wedding planning. Daniel, when can we stop hiding? I want to wake up next to you every morning. Catherine, soon. I just need more time to figure things out. The shirtless photo he sent was dated 3 days ago, October 10th. The same night she said she was helping Sophie address wedding invitations until 11 p.m. I called Sophie. How'd the addressing go last night? Long pause. What addressing? Mom said she was helping you with wedding invitations. Another pause. Oh, yeah, we finished early. Around 8, another lie. They weren't even coordinating their stories anymore. So I started my own game. Over breakfast on Saturday morning, I told Catherine I was thinking about retiring early. Maybe selling my consulting business to my partner Rick for $400,000. Her eyes lit up like Christmas morning. She set down her coffee cup and stared at me. Really? You'd want to retire at 58? Why not? We've got the house paid off. Your art career is taking off. We could travel more. Maybe buy that cabin in Vermont you always wanted. She hugged me tight, tighter than she had in years. First real emotion I had seen from her in months. I almost laughed. She thought she was about to get $200,000 when I sold the business. Plus half the house value, another $225,000. Plus half my 401k, $90,000. Plus alimony for life since she hadn't worked a real job in 15 years. She had it all figured out. Probably already spent the money in her head. Not happening. Monday morning, I called my lawyer. Mark Stevens. We went to college together. Told him everything. Showed him the photos from Derek. The messages from the burner phone. The lies about her whereabouts. With this evidence, Mark said, she gets nothing. Adultery voids any claim to alimony in this state. Property division gets tricky, but since the house and business are in your name, and you can prove she was planning to leave, she'll walk away with basically nothing. That made me smile for the first time in weeks. I took Sophie to lunch at Applebee's on Wednesday. Ordered the same thing we always got when she was a kid. Chicken tenders for her, burger for me. Watched her face when I brought up her mom. Mom seems happy lately, I said, dipping a fry in ketchup. Yeah, she mumbled, not looking up from her phone. She's been working on new art projects. Funny, I thought she finished her landscape series 3 months ago. What's the new project? Sophie went white. Put her phone down. Started tearing her napkin into little pieces. Just experimental stuff. Photography, maybe? Photography? Since when does Mom do photography? I leaned forward, lowered my voice. You're lying to me, Sophie. Silence, her hands stopped moving. Then barely audible. Dad, how long have you known? 2 weeks. Did you help them plan their meetings? I didn't help them meet. I swear, when she asked me to cover for her, I did. She said she felt invisible in her own marriage. Like you didn't see her anymore. Like you were just roommates. That hurt worse than the affair. My own daughter. The kid I taught to ride a bike. Took to soccer practice 200 times. Paid $40,000 for her college at State. Walked down the aisle at her wedding 6 months ago. And she helped destroy our family. I built everything for you two, I said. This house, so you could have your own room and bathroom. Your college fund, so you wouldn't have student loans. Mom's art studio, so she could follow her dreams. This is what I get? I'm sorry, Dad. I really am. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught in the middle. You're sorry it's awkward now. But you're not sorry for lying to me for months. I threw $25 on the table and stood up. Don't come to the house for a while. I need space to figure things out. Dad, please, go home to your husband, Sophie. Try being the kind of wife you watched your mother become. See how that works out for you. Back home, I got to work. Real work. I met with Mark again. Gave him copies of everything. The hotel records Derek pulled for me. Screenshots of the text messages. Photos of Catherine and Daniel I'd started taking myself with a telephoto lens. I liquidated $50,000 in stocks Catherine didn't know about. Old investments from before we were married. Moved the money to a new account at a different bank. Changed our joint checking account to require both signatures for withdrawals over $500. Updated the house deed to include a clause about adultery forfeiting property rights. But I wasn't done. Mark recommended a private investigator. Robert Sterling. 25 years experience. Former cop. Cost me $200 a day plus expenses. I need everything, I told him. Photos, video, financial records, background check. Everything. Sterling was worth every penny. Within a week, he had Daniel's entire life mapped out. Divorced 2 years ago. Ex-wife filed a restraining order after he threatened her. $15,000 in back taxes, $8,000 credit card debt. History with married women, at least 3 others in the past 18 months. All ended badly. He didn't love Catherine. She was just convenient. A lonely housewife with money and low self-esteem. On Thursday, Sterling handed me a manila envelope. "You're not gonna like this," he said. Photos of Catherine and Daniel at Sunset Point. The scenic overlook 20 minutes outside town. Her car parked next to his BMW. Them kissing against a tree. Her hands in his hair. His hands under her sweater. Both of them laughing like teenagers. Timestamp 2:47 p.m., October 18th. The same day she told me she was grocery shopping and running errands. I stared at that photo for 20 minutes. Then I said out loud to my empty kitchen, "Enjoy it while you can." Because her little fantasy was about to become hell. Catherine knew something was wrong the second she walked through the front door. It was Friday night, 11:47 p.m. Same time she always came home from her gallery committee meetings. But the house felt different. Empty. Her heels clicked on bare hardwood floors. I'd removed all the rugs that morning. All the furniture was gone. No couch, no coffee table. No bookshelves. No family photos on the walls. No wedding picture on the mantle. She called my name. "Benjamin! Benjamin!" Her voice echoed in the empty rooms. Nothing. She walked through each room. Living room, empty. Dining room, empty. Even took the chandelier. Kitchen had nothing but the stove and refrigerator. Couldn't take those. They were built in. Then she saw it. A white envelope on the kitchen counter where the microwave used to be. Her name written in my handwriting. The same handwriting that wrote her love letters in college. Inside, "You threw away 29 years for a man who doesn't love you. Now watch me erase you from my life." I was already 400 miles away. Motel 6 in Richmond, Virginia. Room 112, $49 a night. Had a burner phone, $15,000 cash, and a flash drive with everything Sterling found. Registered under the name Robert Hayes. Paid for a week in advance. Sterling had dug deep into Daniel's background. The guy was a predator. Professional charmer. His ex-wife's restraining order mentioned emotional manipulation and financial exploitation. He'd convinced her to take out a $20,000 loan for his photography equipment. Disappeared with the money and the equipment 3 months later. He'd done it before. Sarah Martinez, married woman, 45, had an affair with Daniel for 4 months. He talked her into leaving her husband. She filed for divorce, lost half her assets. Daniel dumped her 2 weeks after her divorce was final. Jennifer Walsh, no relation, just same last name. Married 20 years, 2 kids. Daniel seduced her at a photography workshop. She left her family for him. He strung her along for 6 months, then ghosted her when she ran out of money to spend on him. Catherine was just the latest victim. She fell for it like a stupid teenager. But this wasn't high school. This was real life with real consequences. First hit was the divorce papers. Mark filed them Monday morning at 9 a.m. sharp. Adultery with photographic evidence. Financial infidelity. No settlement, no alimony. Catherine would walk away with the clothes on her back and whatever was in her personal checking account, about $2,400. Second hit was her precious art career. The Meridian Gallery, where she'd been showing her paintings for 8 months, got an anonymous package on Tuesday. Security footage from the hotel Derek provided. Screenshots of her romantic texts with Daniel. Photos from Sterling. A polite note. "Is this the kind of artist you want representing your gallery?" They called her at 3:15 p.m. Told her they were restructuring and wouldn't be continuing with her work. Translation, get lost. Third hit was social. I sent copies of everything to her art group friends. The Wednesday Wine and Paint ladies. Her book club. Her yoga class. Word spread fast in our suburban neighborhood. By Thursday, 3 different neighbors had called to ask if Catherine and I were having problems. But Catherine didn't betray me alone. Sophie helped. Lied for her. Covered for her. Made me look like a fool. So Sophie needed to pay too. Her husband Michael was a good guy. Met him 3 years ago when they started dating. Accountant, conservative. Goes to church every Sunday. Loves Sophie completely. Treats her like a princess. Had no idea his wife helped her mother cheat. I met him at Starbucks on Wednesday morning. Ordered 2 black coffees. Sat in the corner booth where nobody could hear us. "I need to show you something," I said, sliding the flash drive across the table. "Watch this alone." Then ask Sophie how long she's been helping her mother destroy our family. He picked up the drive like it might explode. "What is this? Evidence. Your wife has been lying to both of us." I left him sitting there. Didn't wait for questions. This wasn't about making friends. This was about truth. About consequences. 3 days later, Catherine tracked me down. Showed up at the motel like a ghost. Don't know how she found me. Probably hired her own investigator. She looked terrible. Lost maybe 15 pounds. hair unwashed, no makeup, wearing the same jeans and sweater she'd had on 3 days earlier. "Benjamin, please," she begged through the door. "We need to talk." I opened the door but didn't let her in. "You want to talk now? Now that your life is falling apart?" "It was one mistake. It was 6 months. With our daughter covering for you. While I worked 60-hour weeks to pay for your art supplies and studio rent." She started crying. Real tears this time. Not the fake ones she used when she wanted something. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just felt so lonely. So invisible, like we were just strangers living in the same house. Then you should have talked to me. Not jumped into bed with some photographer who's been scamming married women for years." Her face went white. "What do you mean?" "I know about Sarah Martinez. Jennifer Walsh. The other women he's done this to. You're not special, Catherine. You're just convenient." She reached for me. I stepped back. "You picked him," I said. "Now go build a life with a man who's already planning to dump you for the next lonely housewife with money." I walked inside and locked the door. Let her cry in the parking lot. But I wasn't done with Daniel Cross. Daniel thought he was untouchable. Good-looking guy. Drove a 45,000 BMW. Smooth talker. Probably told Catherine he was a successful artist making good money. Reality was different. He lived in a $2,200 a month studio apartment. Behind on rent 3 months. Car payments 2 months late. He made money seducing married women and getting them to pay for things. Dinners, hotels, trips, equipment for his photography business that barely existed. Catherine had been funding their affair without realizing it. Every time they went out, she paid. "I'll get this one, honey. You can get the next one." There was never a next one. I spent 2 weeks learning his schedule. Tuesday nights, 24-hour fitness on Oak Street. 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. every week like clockwork. Same parking spot in the back lot under the broken street light. Friday nights, Blue Note Jazz Club downtown. Usually alone, trolling for his next victim. His mistake was thinking I was just some broken husband who'd disappear quietly. Thinking he could destroy my family and move on to the next one without consequences. November 15th, 10:45 p.m. Daniel walked out of the gym right on schedule. Towel around his neck. Earbuds in, scrolling through his phone. Probably checking dating apps. Heading to his BMW in the back corner of the lot. That's when I made my move. I'd been sitting in my rental car for 45 minutes. Stolen license plates I'd swapped out 2 hours earlier. Ski mask, leather gloves. Tire iron from my toolbox. Came up behind him silent. He didn't hear me until the last second. Tire iron to his left kneecap first. Heard it crack like a branch. He went down screaming, phone flying across the asphalt. Then his ribs, 3 quick hits while he was on the ground. Felt at least 2 of them break. Then his jaw while he was trying to crawl away. Blood everywhere. All over the asphalt. All over his gym clothes. He tried to say something. Probably begging. I couldn't understand him through the blood and broken teeth. "You destroyed my family," I said, breathing hard. Thought I'd just disappear. Thought there wouldn't be consequences. This is what happens when you touch what's not yours. One more hit to his shoulder for good measure. Heard that crack too. Then I was gone. Threw the tire iron in a dumpster 5 miles away. Drove the rental car to long-term parking at the airport. Took a cab back to my real car. Was home watching TV by midnight. Left his phone buzzing with Catherine's name on the screen. Let her figure out what happened when the ambulance calls came. Daniel's attack made it the local news for 3 days. Local photographer brutally assaulted outside gym. Police had no suspects. No witnesses. Security cameras in that part of the lot had been broken for 6 months. His injuries were worse than I'd planned. Shattered kneecap required 2 surgeries. 3 broken ribs. Broken jaw wired shut for 10 weeks. Dislocated shoulder. Plastic surgery on his face couldn't fix everything. He'd always have a scar across his left cheek. Always walk with a limp. He stopped taking photos. Stopped going to jazz clubs. Moved back in with his parents in Ohio 3 months later. Catherine's world collapsed in slow motion over the next 6 months. Lost the gallery showing. Lost her art group friends. Lost her book club when the other women decided she was too much drama. Sophie's marriage ended when Michael confronted her with the truth about helping her mother cheat. He filed for divorce 2 weeks before their first anniversary. She lost the $12,000 they'd spent on the wedding. Catherine tried to find Daniel after the attack. Called his phone for weeks. Went to his apartment building. The landlord told her he'd moved out in the middle of the night. Left no forwarding address. She moved into a studio apartment near the railroad tracks, $600 a month. Tried to keep painting but couldn't sell anything. Her inspiration was gone. Started working part-time at a craft store for $11 an hour. First real job she'd had in 15 years. She called me every month for the first year. Left voicemails that started angry and became desperate. Sent emails I never opened. Tried to send letters to my motel. I'd already moved on. Sophie reached out exactly once. 1 year and 3 months after I left. Email to an old address that forwarded to my new phone. Dad, I know you hate me. I deserve it, but I had a baby. Her name is Emma Catherine. Thought you should know you're a grandfather. Won't contact you again unless you want me to. I'm sorry for everything. I stared at that email for 2 hours. Read it maybe 20 times. Not because I didn't care. Because I cared too much. A granddaughter. Named Catherine after her grandmother who destroyed our family. They made me the villain after I spent 29 years building everything they wanted. The house, the life, the opportunities. When it all broke because of their choices, they expected me to just fix it and forgive and pretend it never happened. But I wasn't a builder anymore. I wasn't a forgiver. I was something colder. Peace feels like complete silence. I stayed in Richmond for 6 months, then Phoenix for another 6. Finally settled in a small coastal town in Maine. Population 3,200. New identity, William Hayes. Cost me $5,000 for good fake documents. Birth certificate, social security card, driver's license, passport. Bought a cottage with cash, $85,000. Right on the water. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, fireplace. Perfect for one person who wants to be left alone. Grew a beard, let my hair go gray. Lost 30 pounds. Started wearing flannel shirts and work boots instead of business suits. Learned woodworking from YouTube videos. Built cabinets and bookcases I sold at the farmer's market on Saturdays. Made enough to live on, 400, 500 a week. Didn't talk to anyone unless I had to. Grocery store clerk. Post office, hardware store. People left me alone. In small towns, if you mind your own business, others mind theirs. Sometimes I'd sit by the ocean with a beer and try to remember what Catherine's laugh used to sound like. Before it was fake. Before it was meant for someone else. Before she practiced it in the mirror to use on Daniel. 3 years after I disappeared, someone knocked on my door on a Tuesday evening in October. Same month I'd found the hotel key card. I knew who it was before I opened it. Catherine, older now, 50 years old but looked 60. Thinner than I'd ever seen her. Gray hair, she wasn't bothering to dye anymore. Cheap clothes from Walmart instead of the boutique stuff she used to buy. I found you, she whispered. You weren't supposed to, I said, not opening the screen door. I know, I hired someone. Cost me $2,000 I didn't have. But I had to see you one last time. We stood there in silence. Waves crashing on the rocks behind her. Seagulls calling overhead. I lost everything, she said. I know you don't care anymore, but I did. My career, my friends. Sophie barely talks to me. Michael divorced her after you showed him what I did. Daniel disappeared after someone attacked him. He's not the same person. Brain injury from the beating. Can barely speak. I leaned against the door frame. Didn't invite her in. You came 800 miles to tell me you're broken? I already knew that 3 years ago. No, she said, wiping her eyes with a tissue. I came to say I'm sorry. Not because I think it fixes anything. Because I needed you to know it wasn't about him. It was about me feeling invisible in my own life. Like I didn't matter. I nodded slowly. Then you should have talked to me. Gone to counseling. Figured out how to fix our marriage. Not destroyed it. She looked down at her feet. I know that now. Long silence. Wind blowing through the pine trees. Somewhere a dog was barking. Do you ever miss us? I asked. Miss what we had before you threw it away. Her voice broke completely. Every single day. Every hour. I dream about you. About our house. About Sunday mornings when we'd read the paper in bed. About how you used to bring me coffee in the studio when I was painting. Good, I said. Then you understand what you destroyed. Do you miss it too? I looked at her for a long time. This woman I'd loved for 29 years. Built a life with. Planned to grow old with. I miss who you used to be, I said finally. Before you became someone who could lie to my face for 6 months. More silence. Sophie had a baby, she said. Emma, she's beautiful. Red hair like mine used to be. She asks about her grandfather sometimes. That hit me harder than I expected. I'm not asking you to come back. I know that's impossible. I just thought you should know. I felt something crack inside my chest. You don't get to use my granddaughter to manipulate me. You lost that right. She nodded, started crying harder. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of it. Then I asked the question I'd been wondering about for 3 years. Was it worth it? Was 6 months with him worth destroying 29 years with me? She looked up at me with red, swollen eyes. No, God, no, it was the biggest mistake of my life. I knew it after the first month, but I was in too deep. Too many lies. I didn't know how to stop. You could have stopped any time. You could have told me the truth. I was scared you'd leave me. So instead you made sure I'd leave you. She nodded, sobbing now. I'm so stupid. I'm so fucking stupid. I'd never heard her curse before, in 29 years of marriage. Yes, I said, you are. I stepped back inside and started to close the door. Benjamin, wait. I stopped. Do you think, someday, could you ever forgive me? I looked at her one last time. This stranger wearing my wife's face. No, I said, some things can't be forgiven. Some things can't be fixed. Then I closed the door and locked it. I watched through the window as she stood on my porch for 10 more minutes, then walked to her car, a 15-year-old Honda with rust on the door panels. Drove away slowly, like she was hoping I'd change my mind and run after her. I didn't. That was 2 years ago. The calls stopped after that. The emails stopped. No more attempts to find me. But Sophie did send one last thing. A photo in the mail with no return address. A little girl with copper-colored curls sitting on a tire swing. Big green eyes like mine. Holding a wooden toy horse I probably would have made for her if things were different. On the back, someone had written Emma, age 4, in Sophie's handwriting. I stared at that photo for an hour, then put it in my desk drawer. Not because I was ready to forgive. Not because I wanted contact. But because that little girl didn't do anything wrong. She was innocent in all this. Maybe someday when she's older, I'll reach out. Send her a birthday card. A Christmas present. Maybe not, but I know this much. I'm not the man who got betrayed anymore. I'm not the man who spent 29 years building something just to watch it get destroyed. I'm the man who survived it, who got his revenge, who found peace in the silence. And some nights, when the waves are loud and the stars are bright over the Maine coast, I sit on my porch with a beer and think about how different things could have been. If she'd just talked to me instead of fucking a photographer. If she'd gone to counseling instead of lying for 6 months. If she'd remembered that actions have consequences. But mostly I don't think about it anymore. Mostly I just listen to the waves and work on my furniture and live the quiet life I built from the ashes of my old one. Some people get second chances. Some people get forgiveness. Catherine Walsh isn't one of them. That's my story. What would you have done differently? Should I reach out to my granddaughter someday? Let me know in the comments, smash that like button if this story kept you hooked, and subscribe for more real-life tales. Thanks for listening.